Hello everyone and welcome to our fifth and deciding round of the 2014 Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike Championship from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Ontario, part of the Mopar Canadian National Motorcycle Road Racing Championships. I'm your official series announcer, Frank Wood. This CSBK national race coverage is brought to you by Hindle Exhaust, Dunlop, and Mopar. Okay, riders now out on their warm-up lap for this, the final round of the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike National Championship. A 12-lap affair awaits them. Starting from position 16 is number 26, Ronnie Monroe, out of Nova Scotia on the Canadian Kawasaki Motors Freedom Cycle sponsored machine. Alongside him, Mitch Card on the number 12, Macklin Dust Control and DP Brakes supporting that rider. On the 116 machine, starting from position 14, is Trevor Daly on the Mako Performance Kawasaki. Alongside him on the 117 machine, Nuno Almeida on the GP Bikes Triumph 675. Amzi Nawa's 41, 76 Louis Rafa, 85 Raphael Archambault, and row 3 rounded out with the 229 of Darren James. Row 2 has number 18 Philippe Massé, 53 Eli DeCache. Front row, Christopher Garvey on the 71 Honda Canada Hindle Exhausts. Alongside him, starting from P3 on the 42 machine, Kenny Reedman on the Castrol Triumph 675. 47 Will Hornblower, scheduled to start on the Blue Streak Yamaha alongside Jody Christie, and Christie will start from pole on the Honda Canada Accelerated Technologies Honda CBR 600RR. Lights are on, the lights go off and the field is away. Christie with a very good launch there initially off the starting line. Christie and Reedman, the first two riders down into turn number 1. And they run 1-2 as they head up into turn 2. Christie on the Honda CBR 600RR. And of course Reedman mounted on the Triumph 675 with support from Castrol Oils. The field now heading up into turn number 3. And will make their way down into 4 very shortly now. Christie qualifying with a 125.384. Reedman with a 126.8. So Christie was fast by far in qualifying, taking pole position. In yesterday's round 4 race, Christie crashing out in turn number 8 at the back of the straightaway, off the back straightaway I should say, and Reedman taking the race win. Archambault holds on to 3rd spot. Reedman is in 2nd. And Christie will lead them off the Andretti straightaway into 8. And they're working corner number 9 right now. Looks like Eli DeCache holding on to 4th spot on the 53 bike. Then we have Christopher Garvey on the 71, 229 of Darren James. And then Philippe Massé and Trevor Daly both mounted on the Kawasaki's. Massé is on the 18 bike and Trevor Daly on the 118. Field now making their way up over the hill and into turn number 2 under the Champion Bridge, diving down to corner number 2, a left-hander, and then there'll be a quick short shoot up into corner number 3. Now that's known as Quebec Corner here at Motorsport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. And the field now making their way down in through turn 4 and down in towards Mosses. Christie enjoying a substantial lead at this point in time, with a battle going on now between Reedman on the 42 Triumph and Eli DeCache on the number 53 Yamaha. Those two riders battling it out now for 4th spot. We'll pick up the action once they've gotten through 5A and B. Corner number 5, Moss's corner here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and that is where the back straightaway starts. It ends at turn number 8. And Christie now entering turn number 8. Archambault has made a pass on Reedman. Riedman should be riding a championship race this time around. He has the points lead coming in, especially with Christie crashing out yesterday. So he's just looking for a big points grab and a possible championship. Archambault second, Riedman is third. Eli DeCache in fourth. Christopher Garvey is fifth. And we pick up on Philippe Massé in sixth spot. Darren James rounding out our top seven. And they are running very tight indeed. The only riders in the pack that are somewhat off pace would be Nuno Almeida and Ronnie Monroe on the 26 machine. Nuno Almeida with the Triumph 675 and sponsorship from GP Bikes, and he wears the 117. Our field now has made their way through turn number 3, and they're battling their way down towards 4 and Moss's corner. Now again, Riedman will probably not take too many chances in this one, although he's not going to want to let too many people get by him either, because each person that passes him, of course, is a further erosion in his points. And Christie obviously in a must-win situation. He has been the champion of Canada in the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike class for 3 years in a row coming into 2014. And he would very much like to repeat as that champion on this day as well, no doubt. Riedman closing in slightly on Archambault as they enter turn number 8. Christie with a large lead at this point in time. And this, as we mentioned, going in a 12-lap contest. Christie, Archambault, Riedman, DeCache, Garvey now. And Philippe Massé, I believe that is, or is that the number 24 machine, the 116 actually, of Trevor Daly. A great story there in that normal Superbike competitor, number 24, Sebastian the Shaker Tremblay, had been offered a sport bike ride for this weekend on the Mako Performance Kawasaki. He qualified in 6th spot and would have started from the second row, but he elected to give the bike to number 116 Trevor Daly, because Daly is in the points hunt, and if Daly can score enough points on this weekend, he may end up in 2nd spot, or indeed, depending on how things unfold, mathematical possibilities are there that Daly could capture the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike Championship at the end of this race, depending on, again, it's a long shot, but nonetheless the mathematics are there, and Daly does have a chance at this. When last seen, Christie enjoying a substantial lead, and no doubt he'll be getting the pit signals from the Accelerated Technologies team. We pick up on him now as he comes off the Andretti straightaway. And Riedman, much to our surprise, is making a race of this. He has moved into 2nd spot in behind Jody Christie, displacing Raphael Archambault on the Town & Country GSXR 600. Archambault, number 85, now has been shunted back into 3rd spot, and Eli DeCache is starting to make some inroad on him. Darren James continues to chase after Daly. James on the 229 machine, that is the Buell 1125, which is eligible for sport bike competition here in the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike class in Canada. And James doing a great job of riding that machine, presently holding on to 6th or 7th spot. Ronnie Monroe on the Freedom Cycle Canadian Kawasaki Motors sponsored number 26 Kawasaki in from Beaverbank, Nova Scotia. He is the top dog down at the Shubenacadie track just north of Halifax in the Society of Atlantic Road Racing League down there. They have a couple of rounds left on this season, so no doubt Ronnie Monroe will want to keep that motorcycle in good shape for the final 2 regional rounds down there. Off the back straightaway once more, we pick up on the number 1 bike. The Honda CBR 600RR, prepared by Accelerated Technologies and ridden by Jody Christie. Eli DeCache has moved into 3rd spot now, ahead of Raphael Archambault. Archambault, who is running 2nd at 1 spot, now finds himself back in 4th spot and in danger of losing that position as well. Archambault 85. Archambault, who looked so very strong and who scored a podium finish in yesterday's contest, now finds himself in an embarrassing position. 5 laps complete. So next time by the start-finish line, the riders will get the halfway flags indicating that there's that many laps to go, 6 to go. Huge gaggle of bikes now battling it out for second spot, as Christie has a clear field of vision and a lot of free air in behind him, a great deal of asphalt between he and those in pursuit. Second spot is where the battle is right now. The final podium spots being sorted out there in behind Christie as we are approaching the halfway mark of this 12-lap national championship finish here. We pick up on the action as they come through 8, 9, and 10. That is the 41 bike then of Amzi Nawaz, who started from 11th position on the self-sponsored machine. Amzi Nawaz, number 41. Nawaz making his first appearance on the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike Tour. And Nuno Almeida brings the 117 machine, he riding at his personal pace. Ronnie Monroe likewise. Very likely that those two riders will be caught before the end of this contest, and that's where it could be very interesting indeed. Now, Christie, having a lonely ride out there, shouldn't have too much trouble with traffic, but when they get into traffic and that group that is fighting that four-way battle in for the final 2 podium spots available at this point in time, that could get rather interesting indeed. Big move and a big pass coming up here now into turn number 8. Riedman holds on to second spot. And it's the number 71 of Christopher Garvey, the man who's on the move right now. Garvey is the guy that's on the move as he's got that Honda Canada CBR 600 number 71 dialed in here, and he is starting to carve his way through the pack, making his way towards the front, and he has put himself into a fine striking position to possibly gather up second spot and put 2 Hondas on the podium. Jody Christie, if he holds on to first spot. Right now Christopher Garvey has designs on second, but as we mentioned, Eli DeCache, Amzi Nawaz, and Kenny Riedman having their own particular say in that affair. Right now our race leaders are somewhere down towards Moss's corner. And again, Christie will have his pick of lines. There's nobody challenging him on this day. We anticipate picking up our national champion, the number 1 plate holder, as he makes his way up the Andretti straightaway into turn number 8. And it is at that turn yesterday where Christie had a huge crash coming off the back straightaway. But on this day, it certainly does not seem to have fazed him at all. Oh, and bad news in that number 85, Raphael Archambault, is out of this race. Number 85 has retired from this contest as Christie brings it past the main control tower. Here comes Kenny Riedman, Garvey, and Nawaz, as well as the 53 bike of Eli DeCache. So away they go on yet another chase, and the battle continuing to heat up there now as Garvey's got company heading into turn number 2. Christopher Garvey having trouble getting past Kenny Riedman now, and again with the thoughts in mind that Riedman will likely be running a championship race and looking for a points grab, not necessarily a win, and in fact not even necessarily a podium position. He's just looking to give Triumph their first sport bike championship here in North America, and he seems to be in an ideal position to deliver that for the Castrol Triumph team. We'll watch again to the end of the back straightaway in that Canadian Tire Bridge. First one that comes into sight this time around is Ronnie Munro. He's the tail ender. Now here comes Christie. Christie will be moving in on Munro here and putting him in a lapped situation very shortly. Munro now in through turn 9. Christie closing on him, and here comes the pack up the back straightaway with Garvey still holding on to third spot in behind Reedman. Ramsey Nawa's on the 41 bike. And Eli Dakash on the 53. Louis Rafa brings the number 76 bike through turn number 10. Rafa on the Honda Canada Scorpion helmet sponsored machine in from Quebec. And again, one of those riders who is riding at his own pace, keeping the motorcycle upright and good to go. Off the back straightaway once more, we pick up on Nuno Almeida on the 117 machine. He riding for GP Bikes on the Triumph 675. We've got a Seagull that has settled in here in turn number 10, and Almeida scares him away, which is a good thing because we anticipate seeing our race leaders come up here very shortly. Now a reminder that Jody Christie has caught up to and past Ronnie Munro and put him into a lap situation. And now Christie comes up in through turn number 8. And what a lead this kid has got. This is huge. This is unbelievable. In Hindle exhaust sport bike racing is usually much closer than this. More what we're seeing for that final 2 podium spots where we have 4 or 5 bikes duking it out to grab that final position. And indeed, Munro, as we anticipated, is coming through number 10. Now Kenny Reedman's the first one on him. Here comes Christopher Garvey. Garvey moves to the outside. There's no room there. He has to swing back in around to get around Ronnie Munro. He moves to the right of Munro, and Munro doing the right thing by holding his line going into 1 to make sure that everybody's able to get by very cleanly. We're working lap number 11 now. And the last lap flag will be displayed when they next come by us. Right now we're tracking the formation as they make their way up into turn number 3, and they are stacked up like dinner plates at Grandma's place right now. Very tight indeed for that final 2 podium spots. There's 4 riders have to duke it out and decide who's going to stand alongside Jody Christie atop the box here. We're bringing Christie home. He's on his second last lap, and we pick up on one of our tail enders, Almeida, just coming off the back straightaway, and anticipate Christie to be closing the distance on that rider as well. The last seen, Christopher Garvey was pressuring Kenny Reedman on the 42 machine. Garvey riding on the 71 bike. Crash at turn 5. Rider's up and okay. Rider down at 5, up and okay. Here we go for the last lap now. Christie's the first one to see the flag. This is going to be fabulous. Nawa's sitting back in 4th spot right now. Christopher Garvey moves to the right once more and tries to pull up alongside Kenny Reedman. Reedman holds the throttle on down into turn number 1, and they stack up in behind him. They're not getting by him. Reedman's making himself rather wide through turn number 1. Here comes Garvey again as they make their way up under the Champion Bridge. And Garvey will take a stab at him as they head down into turn number 2, down into the slight valley there. We'll watch them as they do the short shoot and come up into turn number 3, that high-speed right-hander. The bike identified now as being number 1-2. That would be Mitch Card, the rider who has crashed in Moss's corner. And again, I assure you that Mitch Card is up and okay. That is a good news item indeed. We're bringing him home here now in the final lap as Jody Christie, when last seen, had an insurmountable lead. I hope I don't jinx him by commenting on that, because this kid truly deserves a win in this, the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike class, the class which he has owned for the past 3 years here in Canada. And here he comes, your leader now coming through turn 8. They'll be leaning over the pit wall right now to watch him come out of 10. The checkered flag is ready. The national champion, number 1 plate holder, will be the first one to see it. But there is a huge battle now going on in behind him. And as Christie makes his way to the checkered flag, now Reedman Riedman around 9. Here comes Amzi Nawaz to the inside. Riedman slams the door on him. Nawaz goes around the outside of him. Nawaz takes a run to the line. Riedman takes second, and Amzi Nawaz has scored third spot. He will stand on the podium. Amzi, first of all, congratulations. You came from nowhere. What a great battle. Tell us about it.
Thanks, Frank. I don't really know what to say. Started towards the back and just kind of found my rhythm and was catching up to these guys. And, you know, they were holding a good pace, so I could, you know, thankfully stay up with them.
Any moments you care to share with us?
The finish? I don't know. I don't know. It was a sketchy last lap between me, Garvey, and Kenny, and I'm just happy to finish third and be up here.
Kenny Riedman, what a great tussle you had out there. Boy, there was 3 or 4 guys in battling for that second spot, and you got it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. You know, I wanted to hang with Jody and was thinking a battle for the lead. Like, obviously you want to win the championship with a win at the final race, but, you know, he took off in the first lap, and I just didn't have the confidence right away to run that pace, so I just kind of settled into my own, and before you know it, I had a bunch of guys trying to take over second place from me, and you know, luckily enough, I was able to handle or hold them off. Amzi on the last lap did a really bold move on the outside of turn 3 and just about got me, but I managed to kind of shove him out and get second.
Jody, you had a clear field of vision. Boy, you scatted.
Yeah, 100%. Got a great launch on that Honda CBR 600 and put my head down right away. You know, I'm really confident with the Dunlop tires. They've been working great all weekend and all year. I can't thank them enough for their support this season. It's been a true pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to next year on the new Dunlop GPA Pro. So should be a great year next year. Yeah, like I said, great confidence right away, and just put my head down. That was my game plan yesterday. It didn't quite work out with a mishap and a crash, but then today I was able to redeem myself.
Now we wonder, who is the 2015 #1 plate holder? Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you your 2015 #1 plate holder, Kenny Riedman, scoring the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike Championship for Triumph Motorcycles and the Castrol team. And now he accepting that award on behalf of the Castrol team and Triumph North America from Lang Hindle. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion. A little bit louder. That's the one I wanted to hear. Congratulations to Kenny Riedman, our champion. To Amzi Nawaz for a fine third place finish in this final round. Kenny for second place in this round. And of course, our retiring Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike champion. After 3 years of holding that title, he has handed it over to his good buddy, Kenny Riedman.
Woo! Keep it upside down, you get a long straight. Woo! Woo!